You were performing at schools yesterday, right?
Yes, I was a part of the Country Pop Rock Tour, which is an anti-bullying tour, and that got me started in performing at different schools. And so
Oh,
yesterday I performed at New Caney Elementary and Oakley Elementary with one of my tour mates named Brandon Mendoza. And we love spreading the bullying message, the anti-bullying message, and just sharing our stories because both of us have been bullied. And I really believe if you dream and you work really hard, nobody can stop you. And if you love who you are, that's what's important. So I love sharing that with kids.
speaking of your music, how did you get started in the music industry? I know from your biography you said you started when you were little, but how did you get to be doing Radio Disney?
Well, I auditioned for a Radio Disney group called RD7. I had gone to Radio Disney's website, and I saw that they were holding auditions for a group that was going to perform around our area. And I said, "Hey, Mom, can I audition?" And she was like, "Sure, you don't really have a super pop Disney voice, but you can try it." And every audition is an experience, and that's what I always looked at it as. So
Mm-hmm.
even if I didn't make it, it was a learning experience. So I tried out, and I was actually one of the lucky 7 that made it into the group, and we got to open for Raisin, Miley Cyrus, the Cheetah Girls, the Jonas Brothers, and we performed at a Kelly Clarkson concert.
Yeah, you guys did. You opened up for a lot of big name stars. Did you get to meet Miley Cyrus and the Jonas Brothers? Because I know some people that open for them don't even get to meet them.
Yes, we met everybody but Kelly Clarkson, and everybody was super nice. The Jonas Brothers, that's when they had the short hair before the long hair. So they were actually really nice. And Miley Cyrus told me she had an aunt, Celeste. I was like, that is so cool, because that's my name.
Who was your favorite artist to open for?
Probably the Jonas Brothers, because I really liked their sound a lot. They had that, they brought a whole unique pop rock sound to music when they were around. So I really liked their sound, and they were really sweet and nice. So definitely the Jonas Brothers.
Do you still keep in contact with them?
I don't. When we first met them, they were. I think that's when Nick was like 14.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like the very beginning of their career. But yeah, they were super nice. I don't get in contact with them, but yeah, they're cool.
So right now you've been doing kind of going around to other schools to voice your bullying stories with a bunch of people. That's really cool because I know so many artists that have been bullied and preach about their bullying experience and how anti-bullying is so prominent in our youth today. How how do you use your story to benefit others? How does it do you write songs about your story, or how do you use your bullying story to benefit others?
Well, what I like to do is the songs that I write are songs that kind of they're empowering songs. They don't really talk about bullying and stuff like that, but I try to write stuff that'll lift people up and get them in a good mood or a happy mood, not something that'll make someone sad, unless it's a really really sad song. But I like making people happy, and I guess with being an artist and being a musician, that career kind of brings on people that are going to critique you and going to be mean to you and bully you because first of all you're different and you want to follow a dream that's going to be really hard, and a lot of people are going to see you in the spotlight, and it's going to be hard. But if you love the music, and I like sharing this with people, if you love music or anything that you do, whether it's playing a sport or you want to be a doctor or any kind of career, if that's what you love, then you shouldn't let anybody stop you because it's who you are, and that's all that's important.
So, you just had one of your singles released a couple of weeks ago, right? In February. How's that going right now?
It's actually going really well. It's called Broken Record, and it's playing on Australia radio right now. And I found out, I guess it was last weekend, I think, that it's number 2 on the radio station for March. So
That's
I was
really
so
cool.
excited when I heard it on the radio because they were doing a countdown, and I thought that was really cool.
So, have you performed in Australia?
I haven't, but I really want to. I want to go to Australia and perform, and I want to, like, see the koalas and the kangaroos
Yeah.
and all the animals and stuff there. And I love their accent, too, so I think that'd be a fun place to perform.
Yeah, where's your favorite place that you've performed so far?
My favorite place to perform was probably, this is like a really unique place. It's not something that very many people have done before, which is probably why I think it's super cool. I got to perform on an aircraft carrier that went out to sea.
Okay.
For a Friends and Family Military Day. So Friends and Family of the people that worked on the ship actually were on the ship. And I was with a group called No Limit that I helped create. And we got to perform, I guess, in front of 9,000 friends and family and actually military members. And we were out in the middle of the ocean. Well, not the middle of the ocean, but we were in the ocean. And it was so cool to look out and see, look out of the hangar bay and see the ocean and see that we were moving. And it's just something unique, and I'll definitely never forget it.
The couple of bands you've been with RD7 and then No Limits. So what made you go from being in a band to going to a solo artist?
Well, coming out of RD7, me and one of the other members wanted to form a group called No Limit, and the name came from if you work hard and stay true to yourself, there's no limit to what you can do. And that's what we would always tell the people that were in our audience, because that's what we were doing, and that's what we really believed and wanted to help other people and other kids follow their dreams like we were. So after about 3 years, everybody in our group kind of just went our separate ways. We were going into high school, so the other lead singer actually wanted to randomly become a lawyer, which is really cool. Like, he just changed his mind. He's like, forget about singing. I want to be a lawyer. So we all just kind of did our own thing, and that's when I decided that I wanted to become known as a country pop rock music singer. So that's when I started recording my own music in Nashville and writing my own songs. And I think songwriting is something that's really cool, especially when you see people out there either singing your words or if you get a tweet saying, hey, I listened to your song and it helped me through this really tough time.
Right.
And that's like the reward of being a songwriter, is hearing that your song has helped somebody. So that's what I'm loving doing now, is songwriting and just singing my songs for people.
So you're touring schools right now. What is your goal? Are you going to be going on tour anytime soon, like a solo tour, or what is your plans as far as touring?
We have the country pop rock tour. The first leg was last August, and we performed in 4 different states, and it was right when school was coming back into, I guess, the next year of school. And so we performed in schools, and then we did concerts at the end of the school performances, like in that city. So we're going to do the same thing, but this summer we're actually doing possibly a beach tour, and that's what's being in development right now. So I'm really excited about that, because I love the beach and I love music, and it's 2 things that I love. So we're going to basically be doing the same thing, but instead of schools, we're going to find other places to perform, and we're going to be putting on some really cool concerts on the beach.
What is your, besides Australia, where would you like to perform? Like outside of the United States, or like anywhere in the United States, where would you want to perform?
I would love to perform in Britain, in the UK, Canada, and probably I have a lot of requests for like Germany and Malaysia. I have a lot of overseas requests, and like Brazil, and I love visiting new places and seeing new people and new cultures. I think that's just really cool to learn about. So anywhere, I would love to perform anywhere. But those are some of the few that those are some that I'm naming that I would love to go to.
Homeschooled, or do you go to public school, or?
I actually graduated last July. From homeschooling.
Okay.
So.
How old were you when you graduated?
I was 18, and I did school all the way up to 9th grade, and then my sophomore, junior, and senior year I was homeschooled.
Okay, that's really cool. So you're 19 now, right?
Yes.
You're 19 and you already have like a whole career like pretty much made for you right now. Are you excited about that?
I am, but at the same time, it takes a lot of work and a lot of hard work, but And, when you love doing it, it really doesn't feel like work. It's like play all the time. Right.
We definitely have you definitely have some dedicated fans. I had a lot of fans reach out and ask you questions, and
Oh, cool.
a couple of them were wondering, are you ever gonna unleash your inner rock goddess?
Well, stay tuned. That might be coming
soon. And then I'm trying to read them from Twitter right now because I didn't have time to copy them down. Are you more of a hunting girl or a fishing girl?
I actually have never been hunting, but I have been fishing. Not recently, but I would like to go fishing again soon.
Would you ever go hunting?
I don't know if I could do it.
I know, same baby.
I don't know, because I love animals. I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, I definitely understand that, but deer is good food. What state do you like best, Virginia or Texas?
Well, Texas, this is the second time I've ever been to Texas, and I think it's really cool here. What I like is I can walk into anywhere and they're almost playing country music everywhere, which I thought was really cool. Because they don't do that, but in Virginia. But Virginia is definitely always going to be home for me. I love the history in Virginia because that's where the country started, and I'm a history guru. I love learning about stuff, and I think it's a big story. History is. So Virginia is always going to be home, and but Texas is awesome too. So I love Texas.
Yeah, it's really cool. Virginia is history, but Texas I think is the best place ever. Bias, but some other questions they were asking: are you releasing an album soon, or
yes.
do you have one coming out?
Yes, I have a brand new album coming out on, I believe it's April 30th.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called Broken Record. It'll have this single I just released on there, plus I think 6 more songs. And it's really cool because I hadn't been in the studio for 3 years, and I had written these songs, and I really wanted to get them out there. So I'm so excited for everybody to hear them.
Yeah. Are you currently living in Nashville? Are you in Virginia? I know you're in Texas right now, but where are you currently living?
I'm living in Virginia, but I take a lot of trips to Nashville, and I'm going to start traveling there more and more, and eventually I'd like to move to Nashville because I just love how there's music around every corner there.
Now, so would you ever go the LA route? I know a lot of musicians who start in Nashville or other places end up moving to LA. Would you ever move to LA, or do you think that would be a possibility for you?
I think LA is a really cool place to go and perform and meet a lot of people. But at heart, I'm more of a hometown country girl. I don't know if I would like living in the city. So, but the ocean's beautiful. I'd love to go there to visit, but and to perform and stay there for a while. But I don't think I'd ever call it home. I'd probably rather live in Nashville or Texas or Virginia or somewhere. It just, I don't know. That's just who I am,
Mm-hmm. And one of your fans asked, what motto helps you get through a bad day?
Oh, that's a good one. One of my favorite quotes is, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. And I think that's so true. Whether it's you're losing a friend or a tour is over and it was such a good memory and you're sad that it's over, but you can always smile back and remember the memory. And I also love living the motto, you have to live each day so you can look back and be proud of who you are.
Right. Now, you've been touring with Brandon Mendoza, right? That's what you said earlier.
Yes, well, I met him on the Country Pop Rock tour. There were also 4 other artists on the tour, too. And but Brandon's from here in Texas, so we're doing some Texas schools together.
Okay. Do you keep in touch with everyone you've done tour with, or is there like one person in particular you've made like really good friends with, or are you friends with everyone?
Well, actually, Tyler Lane and I were in RD7 together. And
Okay.
so when I was helping develop the country pop rock tour, I was like, hey, you should perform with me. Like, you should be on the tour with me. So um, Tyler Lane and I have known each other for like 7 years, I think. And then the other artists on tour, they're all doing their own thing and their own music, and I love seeing them having success in their own stuff because we live all over the country. Like, one lives in Pennsylvania, one lives in Florida.
Okay.
Brennan and Tristan live in Texas, and yeah, like Riley in Pennsylvania and Dalton in Florida. But it's really cool getting on Facebook and being able to see just what they're doing and how they're succeeding. And yeah, we still keep in touch too, so I like seeing them do their thing.
Yeah, that's definitely cool. Thank goodness for social networking to keep in touch with everyone. Who, a couple of your fans were asking, who would you want to open up for? If you could open up for like anybody, any musician, who would you want to open up for and why?
I probably have like 2 or 3 people, but the first choice would be Shania Twain because she's actually performing in Vegas right now. But I love her music first of all, and I so respect her story and how hard she worked at it. Like, she was performing at bars when she was 8 years old, trying to help make money for her family. And she finally made it when she was 29, and she's an amazing songwriter. And I love how she loves who she is. So she's definitely a role model of mine, and I'd love to open for her because she looks like she just has so much fun on stage and with the audience. If not her, I don't know. Do you know who Luke Bryan is?
Oh my goodness. Yes, I love him.
Yeah.
He's my favorite.
I would so love to open for him because he looks like he has a great time too, and his style of music is kind of more like what I want or what my style of music is. Just, like having fun and almost like having a party kind of thing. So
Yeah.
Luke Bryan, and my last would be Keith Urban.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's an amazing guitar player, and I love his voice. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. What's your favorite song out on the table right now? Since a bunch of artists just released a bunch of new music.
Oh man, I'm really liking "Better Dig 2" by the band Perry. Yeah. When I was recording my new songs this past, I think it was in September, they were actually in the recording studio next to me at the same group of studios. So I saw one out in the parking lot. My dad almost backed into him, but not really. It was just kind of a joke. He didn't really back into him. But it was cool seeing them there too. So I think they were recording their new music. That's probably when they recorded "Better Dig 2."
What who's your like most inspirational musician? Who do you look up to the most in the musician world?
Musician world, I'd have to say this is going really country, but Alan Jackson.
Okay.
Because I so appreciate his songwriting and how he loves to tell a story. And I remember getting one of the CDs and looking at the back of it, or trying to see under the songs it says who the songwriter is, or the co-writers. Well, I was looking and there wasn't like any names there, and I was like, okay, this is confusing. And then I look at the very back little cover, and it says all songs written by Alan Jackson.
Right. Yeah, he writes his own music.
And he's just, he seems like a down-home, really sweet person. And that's why I really respect him, and he keeps his family really close too. And also Shania Twain, because of the same reason that I want to open for her. She's just, she's a strong and powerful girl, and she so believes in girl power, which I love. And she's a writer. That's what I really respect in artists is songwriting. And so those would be my 2 people that I really look up to.
Now, have you met any musician that has really like spoken out to you or given you some really good advice?
I've met a lot of and worked with a lot of studio and session musicians in Nashville. And they don't have big names, but they have bios like, you know, they've recorded on so and so's album, like Alan Jackson or Shania Twain, Dolly Parton, and the contemporary people too, like Taylor Swift. And and it's really cool because they don't get the recognition of an actual artist, but they're there to help create the song, and they do such a good job at it. And I met one guy, his name was Joe Spivey, and he was a fiddle player. And I went up to him and I was trying to explain to him the sound I wanted in one of my songs. And I said, "Have you ever heard the Shania Twain song, Don't Be Stupid?" And he said, "Yeah, you know what, I was the fiddle player on that song." And I said, "What? Then why are you asking me for advice? You do your excellence there." And he was just really cool, and I'm really in awe of the musicians and how they can just create a song in such a short amount of time, too.